Alright, this week is another great Gordon Ramsay recipe. We're making spicy sausage rice. For this, you'll need a red onion, a red pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, peeled and minced, 200 grams of any long grain rice. I've used brown rice here because it's my favorite and I already have it in the cupboard. 500 milliliters of chicken stock. I use no salt added chicken stock because even sodium reduced chicken stock still has a truly alarming amount of sodium in it. And to garnish things up with some color, I've got some parsley and a tomato. For the record, I mostly prefer canned tomatoes outside of the summer months, but for this preparation where we're actually just going to be chopping it up into pieces and putting it in a dish, this tomato will be fine. And one more ingredient, some olive oil. First off, we're going to put this in the pan for frying the onions. Some onions are worse than others at making you cry, so for the worst ones, I tend to put on a glove to prevent the steam from sticking to my fingers for a couple of days afterwards. You want to do this on a fairly low heat so that you have a chance to cook them through evenly. After a few minutes, you're going to start hearing some sizzling and popping, and that's a good sign to put in the peppers and the garlic. The peppers and garlic don't really need as much time as the onions, so once you start hearing the sizzling and popping again, it's time to pop in the sausage. Now, an important note, as opposed to the previous times we've used sausage on this show, I've actually taken this out of the casing so that it more resembles a spicy ground beef. So now this is in, we're just going to stir it around until it's nicely distributed and the fat starts to render out. Uncooked sausage is considerably more mushy than cooked sausage, so it should just be a matter of, pressing it against the bottom and the sides to get it to integrate. And of course, because it is uncooked, you will want to make sure that you cook it through just like you would ground beef. Once the sausage is pretty broken down, we're going to add the rice in 2 steps. First, we're actually going to put it in and let it kind of absorb the oil from the sausages and the olive oil, and then we're going to add the water afterwards. If you've got burn bits on the bottom of your pot, you can do something known as deglazing, where you put just a little bit of stock into the pot and let that boil off and scrape down the bottom of the pot to get things off. Right now we're looking pretty good, so I'm just going to put this all in at once. Now I have 2 points that I want to make over rice. First is that normally when I make rice just on its own, like if we were serving this on top of rice, rather than having the rice being integrated into it in kind of a stew, I would use a rice cooker. You can see my lovely rice cooker back here acting as kind of a tripod extension for my secondary camera. I got it for $5 from Walmart, and it cooks the most delicious, perfectly cooked rice every time, foolproof. Put in 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, press the button, and when it goes bing, it's done. Alright, the rice is done, and the dish is delicious because I tasted to make sure the rice was done, but it's looking a little drab right now. So let's say we add a splash of color. Got some tomatoes and parsley here, and you just go plonk in there, stir them around. And what's that? Oh, it's summertime. By the way, if you know where summer is, please tell it to come to Nova Scotia. We miss it. In any case, I hope you try this out, subscribe to my channel, and just have a great week.